warm welcome to tonight's edition of Breeding to Win. Great to be back from a short break and get into the swing of things. Let's take a look at what you can look forward to on tonight's show. The SA Race Day in Mauritius, brought to you by Track and Ball and Gold Circle. I catch up with Joey Soma to find out what his plans are for Got the Green Light. Feed chats with Paula de Kama about racing, the Sugar Hotel and Spice Restaurant. We look at the foals of the week. And last but not least, we remind everybody to send in nominations for the Groom of the Month. The last Saturday of September saw the 24th running of the SA Race Day in Mauritius. It was a chance for South African racing to give back to Mauritius for all their years of support. And it was well supported with the likes of Empress Palace, Bloodstock South Africa, Gold Circle, Kuda Insurance, Central Route Trading and SAA Cargo, to name but a few. The Breeding to Win team compiled this report.
Peter from Empress Palace, obviously a warm welcome to you here in Mauritius. Great to have Empress Palace supporting SA Race Day. And what have you thought of it so far?
So far it has been fantastic. The welcoming, the people, the atmosphere. You know, totally something that I didn't expect, but really superb.
Empress Palace obviously some big supporters of racing back home in South Africa. Now you've branched out to sponsor here in Mauritius and obviously to find a few potential punters and clients to come visit your wonderful establishment. And in terms of the racing here, wait till you see the excitement. I think you're going to be quite shocked.
Yeah, look, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, we are just minutes away from the first race. And, you know, from what I've seen so far, definitely something that will be, you know, carrying on in a future basis and that.
Michelle, great to have you here in Mauritius again for the South Africa Race Day. You've been behind it for quite a long time now. Tell us how the whole thing originated.
It's been something like 25 years, I think. It was started when Jean-Marc Lecoq was the chairman here. Jean-Marc and I grew up together. We were friends, we were schoolmates. And he came to me and said, come on, let's do something, bring the South Africans to Mauritius. And that's how it started, and it's been going on for years. It's a thank you from the South African racing industry that sells a lot of its horses to Mauritius. And also it's consolidate the ties that we have. You know, the stewards of the Turf Club visit us for the Met, and they visit us for the Vodacom Durban in July. And we reciprocate by coming here once a year.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there in terms of how much South Africa benefits from the Mauritians buying horses from us and obviously turning over income for owners in South Africa.
Absolutely, and over the years it's grown a lot with the rand appreciating and the Mauritian economy booming. A lot of money is being spent. I mean, this year alone they bought 160 horses. The average price when I started in the business, when I had my bloodstock business, was something like 2,000 rand a horse. And today I think you guys are averaging over 200. So it's actually big money for South Africa. It gives our owners at home the chance to reinvest and buy new stock. So it helps our breeders as well. And it's now playing an important role because of the quality of the horses that get to Mauritius.
In terms of the turnover as well, the South African public like to bet on Mauritian because they actually understand the horses.
Yes, I mean, they follow the horses. Obviously, a lot of South African jockeys come here. So that's the popularity. The pity that we've been fighting for years is the right to commingle into the Mauritian pools, which we haven't been able to do. So now with the decline in the totes at home for the last 3 or 4 years, the turnovers are not that great anymore. But if we can get over that hurdle and commingle into the Mauritian pools, then South Africa will be absolutely booming in terms of turnover for Mauritius.
You're also a horse owner. I mean, how do you see the atmosphere here at the Channemouth?
Oh, I think the atmosphere here is absolutely terrific. It's world class. It's everything is on top of you. It's the crowd. It's the atmosphere. It's when the horses are running. The noise of the crowd. Everybody is just so enthusiastic for it. It's absolutely magnificent. It's first class.
Very great to have you here on South Africa Race Day once again. I think just chatting to Michelle Narik as well, I think from an owner's perspective, we really do appreciate the support we get from Mauritians buying our horses.
There's no doubt, Grant. I mean, they're big supporters. All their horses come from South Africa, so we need to support them on this day. And because we appreciate, our owners appreciate selling horses on, and when a horse comes to the end of his career, possibly in South Africa, they then have an extended career here, which is great.
And that money comes straight back into the South African industry, to the sales companies there as well.
There's no doubt. And then the guys will then use that money to purchase another horse, and then feel there's a chance, you know, if it's only going to be a 2-time winner or 3-time winner, they're not going to reach the heights that they would like to, then they sell it on.
Now, you're a pure racing man. Now, the experience of racing in Mauritius is just second to none, isn't it? The enthusiasm and the excitement that you see amongst the crowd and the race goes is just unbelievable.
They have a culture of horse racing here in Mauritius. I mean, they love it, and everyone you talk to knows about racing. The minute you mention MTC, then everybody wants to know what's going to win on Saturday. From the time you arrive, the customs, to the time you get out the taxi, it's phenomenal, Grant.
And you've got a nice bunch of sponsors here as well. Great to have Empress Palace on board this year.
No, it is. Bob has always been a good servant to our game, and to extend it out here, they've set up this new club for Africa, this Imperial Club. And he just thought this was a platform that he could then also explore into this market, which is fantastic.
With me we have Mr. Bill Lambert, who is the ambassador of Gold Circle, and it's the 11th time that he's been coming to Mauritius. So the same pleasure, isn't it?
Absolutely wonderful, Sean, and to be here, it's an absolute joy. You always turn on the weather for us, you turn on the hospitality, and you make us feel so very welcome. And you know, this race day is actually one of the jewels in the racing crown, as it were, because it's one of the features that you look forward to on the calendar, and we just love it, and we're very happy to continue to sponsor such an event.
Kamal, thanks very much for hosting the South Africa Race Day once again. And once again, great support from a couple of nice new sponsors too.
Yes, excellent. Thank you very much, South Africa. All of you for being here today. South African Airways, yourselves, Larry, Michelle, Gold Circle. This has become a tradition now. It always kicks off with a nice dinner pre-race, which we had last night. So thank you for attending that. And today, well, what can I say? You saw how the Mauritian public is passionate about horse racing. What great finishes we've had. A few front runners won it easily, but nevertheless, we just got the betting turnover figures. They look good, looking better than last year, so maybe it's on the up. And all I would say is come back next year and have fun again with us. So it was a great day.
We certainly appreciate everything that Mauritius Racing does for South Africa as well, because obviously all the horses here that reign today are from South Africa.
Well, most of the jockeys too, when you look at them. And you have a few young jockeys that have appeared on the scene. We had the pleasure of hosting Glenn Hatt today. He was here on holidays, but you know he can't get away from his home. His home is at Sean Mars. So yes, we are interlinked. Whether we like it or not, we are interlinked, and we like it. The Turf Club really appreciates the support we get from South Africa, and I think we will continue that way for the years to come.
Mike, first South Africa Race Day that you've hosted as CEO of the Mauritian Turf Club, and another successful event.
Grant, I've been told that over the years it's always been a fantastic event, and certainly today was no different. And yes, thanks to all you guys that put your money where your mouth is and sponsored the races today. It was a great gesture on your behalf. Thank you. Yeah, but I think what has really struck me today is chatting to all you guys and understanding how important a market is to the South African owners, breeders, the South African horse racing industry. I understand that approximately 160 horses are imported from South Africa every year, and I think we have a wonderful win-win relationship here. We certainly buy your horses and you sponsor our race days, but couldn't be better.
Absolutely, and I think the nice part about it as well, you see the support coming in the tote turnovers as well, because South Africans love to bet on the Mauritian racing because they notice and they see horses that they recognize. And I think going down the line, if we could ever commingle those pools, it has to be a massive advantage to both sides.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, Grant, and we're working hard every single day to try and get that commingling right. It's in the pipeline, but we just don't know at this stage how long it's going to take before we get it right. Yeah, and I think you're quite right. It's not only that. I mean, it's the people here in Mauritius, being a South African and just seeing the passion of these people. I think everyone without fail can't understand how we generate the passion that we do of these people on the racecourse. And I must say, every single race meeting, I can't believe it. And just 3 weeks ago, we had the Maiden Cup here in Mauritius, where we had, 35,000 people on this little racecourse. I've never experienced anything like it in my life. It's fantastic.
From all of us, it's been a great day for us. We've enjoyed sponsoring the race. We've enjoyed the hospitality here in the Governor's Box as well. Thanks very much to you and your team.
Well, look forward to having you back next year, Grant. Thanks very much.
of Gimme the Green Light, Got the Green Light, hit the spotlight last season with his fluent win in the Grade 1 Premier's Champion Stakes. It's my pleasure to welcome his conditioner to the Breeding to Win show, Joey Soma. Joey, lovely to have you back on the Breeding to Win. And it's been a while since we last chatted.
I think it was after Lobos Legends winning the Classic last year, Julie, and always honoured and privileged to be on your show. Keep up the good work. And I know only the best people in horse racing get interviewed by you.
Thank you, Joey. Well, let's chat about Got the Green Light because, I mean, it was a fantastic win. But firstly, let's go back to what attracted you to him at the sales.
Jules, he was at the Book 2 at Durbanville sale under CTS. Obviously, from a young child, my father always told us, try and see as many horses as you can at every sale, because there's always a champion at every sale, and try and find the best horse. So fortunately, that's always been installed in all of us to try and do our homework at most sales and give every horse a fair chance. Funny enough, when he came out of his box, just the way, the first thing that attracted me to him was just the way he walked. He was absolutely the most beautiful walker I've seen in a long, long time. He had a lot of like a cheetah presence, a very, very good eye. And he's actually a little bit splayed in front, but we've always taught, sometimes if you like a horse, don't be shy to or scared to forgive some of the faults that they got. And I really thought that his value was going to be around the 300,000 mark. You know, being by Gimme the Green Light, who was doing very, very well, or still doing very, very well at the moment. And I put a price tag on him of 300,000. And funny enough, it was the sale was just after the Mayfair speculation, Mayfair speculators the drama. And when the sale started, all of a sudden, horses that we thought were going to go for 200,000-300,000 were going for 50, 70, 100,000. So I always felt we had a chance to get him, you know. He hasn't let me down. He came into the ring and started bidding, and we were fortunate enough to get him for 110. So straight away we were already sort of like 200,000 in credit. And he's just been fantastic since then, you know. He's been an absolute joy to train, and to, even when we broke him in, he had I don't want to say champion, because we don't think that way, but had a sort of a story that this could be a good horse, could carry us into the future.
They pretty much showed you from the start, which some horses don't often do that. So you obviously got a good feel from the start with him.
Honestly, Jules, whatever we asked him to do, it's just a matter of if you showed him once, he was the first one. He did it straight away. He just showed he had some form of presence about him. He was cleverer than all the other 2-year-olds, or the yearlings that we had at the time. Took him to the track. It was never any doubt after the first time we tested him. Was there any doubt that this could be a very, very good horse in the making, you know? And thankfully we try and treat all our horses the same way, but he just showed me something special from day one. We rated him from day one, and I certainly wasn't surprised that he's done what he's done, because I expected that of him from the minute we put a saddle on his back.
7 runs, 4 wins, including the Grade 1 Premier's Champion Stakes. And I have to say, that for me was an awesome performance, because he came from off the pace at Greyville, 1600. And the manner in which he turned it on in the latter stages was incredible for me, Joey. And it was gooseflesh stuff. And do you get the feeling that he's going to see further than that?
There's no doubt there, Julie. You know, Julie, honestly, I said to the partners, Hassan Adams and Dalen Chinsami, I said, very, very rare for me to run horse 7 times as a 2-year-old. I said, what he's showing us, let him take us for the ride. We don't have to, take him for the ride. Just go with him. And we put him in 1,000 meters the first time, and I said to myself, we met a fairly decent field. The nursery winner won, the Frosted Gold was the one that beat him. I said to myself, if he can run a good race in 1,000, then he's going to be a very, very good horse in time to come. Because I always believe top horses need that speed. That's the difference between an average horse and a top horse, is they got speed and stamina. And he showed us enough in that first race. And he just got better and better. The more we worked him and the more we raced him, he just seemed to get better and better, strengthened up more, matured more. And he enjoyed when we threw him in the paddock after every run, when the other horses were going to the track, he wanted to get out there and go with them, you know. So he wasn't feeding his races, but we kept him short. It was all 1,000 and 1,200s. I felt he was very unlucky in the nursery. I thought that he could have run a lot closer, but he tended to be very outpaced in that race. And in the gold medallion, the Group 1, where Eden Rock beat him, I felt he was also unlucky. He was drawn 16 out of 16. He didn't really know where the going was, and got beat just under a length, or just over a length, I should say. So it was always on the cards that he could compete at the highest level. For me, Julie, there's no doubt that 2,000 is definitely within his grasp. No
So
doubt.
exciting future for him.
If we play it right, Julie, yeah, very, very exciting. Now, the hardest thing about training a good horse is to do the right things for them, not for you. We all want to be in the limelight all the time. We all got egos. We all, want to try and win as much as possible. But over the years, experience has told me, just look after him. There's a long career ahead of him. There's some fantastic horses around at the moment, older horses. You know, we've got Do It Again, Rainbow Bridge, Hawam. We're all forgetting about a horse like National Park, who's beaten Hawam. So to take on the older horses now, for me, would be absolutely, for me, stupid. You're only a 3-year-old and you're racing the 3-year-old classics. And the old-timers always told us, keep them to their own age group. So our immediate plans are basically aiming him at the Graham Beck on Charity Mile Day, and then possibly with the run in the Dingons a month later. But honestly, we'll just take it one race at a time. I'm very, very excited to say that he's done exceptionally well. We gave him a bit of a break because he had a hard campaign as a 2-year-old. We've taken our time with him, and he's doing exceptionally, exceptionally well. I thought that every time I'm depressed, because we're racing East today, we all get depressed quite easily. But what I do tend to do is go back and watch all my Grade 1 wins. And I watched his win not long ago, a couple of nights ago, and just puts a smile on my face.
Yeah.
And it reminds, I think, all of us what the game's all about. Why we get up in the mornings, why we want to own horses, why we want jockeys, best jockeys on our horses. Because his win from that draw was actually just absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, it was an absolutely, the way he did it, the way he turned it on. As I said, I think he's got a bright future, but he needs to be handled very, very carefully.
You've won quite a few Group 1s in your career. Most recently, it was before, obviously, got the green light, Lobos Legend in the SA Classic, as we mentioned. It almost looks, just listening to you, like he's got the same program as Lobos Legend. Do you rate him, or do you see them as very similar individuals?
Julia, I'm not one that, I've always felt that it's hard to compare horses. I hate comparing, because all I've ever tried to do is enjoy the horse that we got at the time. You know, Special Preview taught me a hell of a lot as a young trainer. Everyone always said, you'll never train another horse like this. At that time, he was the most enjoyable horse I had. But life changes, and the demographics changing as well. So at the time when a horse comes along, I enjoy every single horse. I hate comparing. It's like having a debate. Is Muhammad Ali the greatest heavyweight champion of all? A good horse is a good horse, no matter who they are, no matter where they are. Unfortunately, we can't say was a politician better than Horse Chestnut. I've enjoyed each one of my Grade 1 winners. It's been a very, very tough road. I don't want to harp on it, but we've had very little support across the years. I don't know why, how, but that's the way it is. I enjoy going to the sales with a very limited budget. And once again, I refer back to my father, who said to us, as long as you can pick a horse, you'll stay in the game for as long as possible. It's when you can't find a decent horse, because I know we get up in the mornings to compete at the highest level. I'm not here to compete E-Division at the Vaal, or we want to be out with the best of them. We want to slog it out with the best of them. And then after the race, shake their hands, have a beer or a whiskey and say, well done. It's about the horse, and there's nothing nicer, in my opinion, seeing a great horse win a top race. If you haven't got that horse, well, you might get it the next time. At the moment, we're fortunate that we've got a horse that we can compete with. And I don't want to say he's better than Lobos Legend. It's hard to tell. Hello Lobos Legend showed me a lot more as a younger horse, more speed, and yet he showed it only over ground, you know. So I'm just going to sit back and honestly just enjoy this horse. I've got a nice share in the horse. The nice part as well, which I'm very, very happy about, is there have been no firm offers or no offers on the table, and that just makes my life a lot easier, because it tends to
Put pressure.
no, not the only pressure. Some people might want to sell. It's a lot of money. So no one's come through, so that makes it really into it. Just gives me the chance to do the right things for him and stop saying I better look after the horse because his value is X amount. Starts going easier on the track in the morning or going harder. I'm just going to enjoy it, and no one's going to take that pleasure away from me.
Joey Soma, always a pleasure having you on the show. It's been great chatting to you, and hopefully we can chat to you a lot sooner than we've been chatting to you. We wish you all the best for the current season with Got the Green Light, and we look forward to seeing him back on the track.
Absolute pleasure once again. Thank you for having me on your show, and keep up the good work, Julie. Thanks.
Thank you, Joey. Well-known racing enthusiast Paulo De Carmo recently took over the Sugar Hotel and Spa in Greenpoint. V Ramsden catches up with Paulo to chat about his racing and his new venture.
We're here at Sugar Hotel in Greenpoint, where we're going to catch up with the owner, Paulo De Carmo, about what goes on here at the hotel and restaurant, and of course his interest for the racing season ahead. Paulo, lovely to be here this morning. Thank you very much for having us.
My pleasure. You're always welcome here. We're great friends of Breeding to Win, so you guys are welcome anytime.
Well, you've got a smashing little setup here. Obviously, you've got a lovely hotel, a restaurant, and it's always buzzing and doing really well, and it's in a great spot.
Thank you anyway. It started off as a little bit of a pet project, but we've worked hard at it in the last couple of years. And so it's a luxury boutique hotel, and we've got a restaurant, Spice on Main, and we also have a spa on board, Steam on Main. So we're able to cater to the luxury travel market who are looking for a hotel experience, but more home away from home as opposed to just, a corporate type hotel environment. And as you say, the location is ideal. We are literally a 15-minute walk from the waterfront, a 15-minute walk to the center of town for those who like walking around. And we're very accessible from highways, the ICC, which is great for upcoming horse sales, and to most entertainment locations in the city. So the location is ideal.
The location's perfect, and what I've seen of the rooms, they're very luxurious and certainly done very classily indeed.
Thank you. So we have 3 different types of rooms. So we have a luxury superior room where we have rooms with private splash pools overlooking with views to the mountain, and we have city-facing rooms which are also quite large. Some of our rooms are the size of apartments, and then we have an age-friendly room which caters for older people who can't really get upstairs, and all of that is done in a really personal fashion. So our staff is really geared towards making sure that everyone's happy and comfortable while they stay with us.
Well, the food is absolutely delicious. We've eaten here a few times, and you've got a really good chef, haven't you, Ed, who makes the food taste just so special.
I do. So our chef is a story very close to our heart here. When I bought the building, and when there was a restaurant here already, which was in quite a big decline, and there was a chef here who was literally, I always tell people that I found Leo Messi at 16 years old playing in the streets, but that's how I feel about my chef. He's really a spectacular talent, and I've literally kept the restaurant open to encourage him to be better. And although not classically trained, I'd rate him against some of the top chefs, specifically in Cape Town. He's really talented and very imaginative, and he puts a lot of care into his food. So we back him 100% here, and he's one of our boys.
I couldn't agree more, because you've got a super menu, but whatever you order just absolutely oozes flavour.
Thank you so much.
That's great. And as far as events go, you'll shortly be starting your Sunday afternoon bottomless gin evenings, which sounds really good fun, and we're going to come and visit one of those.
Yes, so for us there are 2 types of events. Ones are booked events. So we were fortunate enough, you will have had us on your Breeding to Win program last year when we hosted a Green Street event here. In fact, we've hosted 2 for Justin, who's a good client of ours, and he's a good friend, and he does a lot of good things for racing. So we cater for events that are planned, you know, anything ranging from 21st and kitchen teas all the way to corporate events and networking events. And then we have our own in-house events like what you're describing, our gin and jazz. So we did that the whole of last summer. We're going to start them now in the next 2 weeks again. So it's on Sunday afternoons. We have bottomless gin, we have a gypsy jazz band, and it usually goes on from 2 till 5, 6 in the afternoon. And it's great fun, it's nice and chilled, relaxed, it's not overcrowded, it's not too noisy. And this year what we're doing is we've teamed up with one of our partner brands, and we're going to be alternating bottomless gin one weekend and the next weekend bottomless bubbly. So that'll cater for different palates. And we've got, whereas last year we had one jazz band, we're now also alternating jazz bands. We found a really new bunch of guys who are young and eager to perform, so I think it'll be nice.
Yeah, sounds like lots of fun. We're definitely attending one of those, and we'll get the vibe. Now, obviously you're a huge racing fan yourself, and we're coming into the peak of our Cape Summer season. Does that help your restaurant? You must get more visitors, and obviously, as you said, with the sales as well in January.
So yes and no. So we're not a very large property with many rooms. You know, we have only 8 bedrooms on site. As you know, we're undergoing a little bit of a renovation, so we'll have 11 rooms within the next couple of weeks. And we have 8 apartments 900 meters away, that self-catering apartments that we overflow our guest flow into. So it's difficult for us to cater for, you know, 100 visitors for the sales or for the races, for the Sunmet. So I have a lot of friends in racing and people that you know, I've known for a long time, and they like to support, and they also like the setup. CTS has been very kind to book a few of their guests here because they enjoy the environment and the sort of more secluded setup. So it does help for sure. And of course we try to get into the vibe of the Met at the time, and the Queen's Plate. Some of our suppliers are sponsors for the Queen's Plate, and this year specifically we're going to run a little mini event with them. So yes, the season's coming up, we're excited for it. I of course am excited because I like the racing, and a lot of our guests are. So all our rooms have teletrack, which I believe is quite odd for hotels. Not all of them have it anymore, but we certainly do, and the people that stay enjoy the racing.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting season ahead on the race course, and as you said, I know you're very interested in the racing. It's really going to be exciting. We've got some top horses running in Cape Town this year. Yes, we do,
and particularly I'm excited that a lot of our good horses haven't been exported. So, you know, horses like a Wam and Rainbow Bridge and those type of horses are going to be racing here, and I think they top class horses. I think some of the older horses didn't go to stud, and they're going to be racing for another season. I think we have a very strong crop of 3-year-olds this year. I think possibly the strongest I've seen in a long time, and I've heard from friends that there's some lurkers that haven't really raced or stepped out so much. So I think there's going to be very exciting racing coming up for the Cape season. I for one am very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I am too. It looks to be ultra competitive and stretched out a little bit more this year because they've changed the programme slightly. So we've got some feature races after the Met. We've got the Derby. So it's a little bit more stretched out. Gives us a little bit more opportunity to have some fun.
Yeah, I agree with you. And especially you mentioned the Derby. So the Derby is a race that for me holds a special place because, you know what they say, that the classics say that the class of the thoroughbred is measured by the winning post of the Epsom Derby. So I think in the years past we've sort of neglected the Derby as a premium race in South Africa, maybe through the timing and the programming as you mentioned. But I think now it's at a good time, especially the Cape Derby, and I think we're going to see some good horses running in there who are going to go for that race as opposed to avoiding it because the program was congested. And I think we're going to see some class racing. And also, I think exciting is because, as you know, I breed horses. So I think we have a transition from the old super stallions, you know, the dynasties and the Captain Owls, with a lot of pretenders, a lot of young freshman sires that are coming through. And it's very exciting because we don't have a dominant freshman sire. We have 3 or 4 or 5 really doing well. So it's nice. And these horses are now 2 and 3 year olds, some of them, and they're coming through. And I, for example, for starters, I think that's amazing. So I think if you're a racing fan, you're going to like that type of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. A really exciting season ahead. And for you on the track, have you got anything running throughout the season this year?
So unfortunately, race horses themselves, I have very few left because I've been breeding to sell. and it's just one of those things. You go through a stage where you have a lot running and then you have very little running. So I have very few in training at the moment, if not, I think just 1 or 2, and nothing to write home about. But it's breeding season, so very excited. I've got some foals on the ground, and so far a few very, very nice foals, and a lot of the progeny are running really well. So I'm quite excited about my broodmare band at the moment, and I'm excited about the babies being born and the upcoming covers, so it's all looking good there, yeah?
Yeah, lovely time of year. Maybe you'll keep a few of those to race for yourself?
Oh, it always happens like that, yes. So I'm trying not to name them, because then that's where the trouble starts.
Yeah. keep them up your sleeve. But
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be a really exciting season ahead. And we're looking forward to coming back for the gin afternoons on the Sundays to film you again and have a look at the rooms as well. But thank you very much for chatting to us this morning, Paulo, and giving us a bit of an update on what's going on here at Sugar Hotel.
It's my pleasure, and for all the people out there, if they want to come and visit us, they're in the area, they can also follow us on social media. Restaurant at Spice on Main. It's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The hotel, Sugar Luxury Hotel, also on all 3 platforms, and the spa at Steam on Main, also available on all platforms.
Fabulous, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Great to be here at Sugar Hotel, and I can vouch for those words from Paulo. A fantastic spa here, a restaurant, beautiful rooms to stay in, so make your bookings. It's certainly worth a visit, and a fantastic menu with a top chef as well. We're looking forward to coming back here for the Sunday afternoons of gin and jazz, and we'll catch up with Paulo again then, and of course we'll have a proper look at the new rooms upstairs. It's now time for the cutest part of the show. Let's take a look at the foals of the week. That's a wrap for this week's edition of Breeding to Win. Don't forget to join us next week for more Breeding to Win action. From Grant Knowles, Fiona Ramsden and myself, Julie Alexander, good night.